Welcome to Baltimore. I'm Grandmother Edna of a Grandmother's Pilgrimage Historical Theater. And guests, we're here to take you on a guided historic tour of the treasure hunt historic sites in Baltimore, our Charm City. So we're going to start here at Inner Harbor Central. Now, if you're coming into Baltimore, for the start here, you can either park your car at BWI Thurgood Marshall International Airport. You can rent a car and drive into the city, or you can catch our fabulous light rail and ride into the city, or you can just come into the city and you're right in the heart of Baltimore's downtown Inner Harbor tourist attraction. And we're going to start the tour with the National Aquarium. Now, you know, the Baltimore National Aquarium is world famous because African-American philanthropist Mr. Henry Hall donated the first rare fish collection to start this museum off. And he also started what is known everywhere as the Chesapeake Bay curriculum. We have a rainforest in there, interactive activities, over the water exhibit. You can actually be over the Chesapeake Bay while you're looking at our beautiful ceiling to wall aquatics. We have the dolphin, all type of water shows. The price is minimal, and we do have parking garages across the street. Now, while we in this nice central location, right across from me is the World Trade Center, one of Baltimore's top sites. It carries the flags of all the nations, and this is a real treat, historical treasure hunt. We have the 9/11 Memorial Exhibit. This is a sample of it out on the exterior deck. This are actually the pillows that was blown up when the planes flew into the tower and blew up. Now they have another exhibit on the top floor, but you can stand right here and read all the names of our heroes that lost their life in this horrific moment. So we can pay respectful homage to all our firefighters. But there's the pillows. Here's the National Aquarium. You're at Inner Harbor Central, hotel spaces, restaurants, anything you need. You're right in the heart of our downtown tourism at the Inner Harbor. But we're going to leave here and we're going to take you down Pratt Street to South Carolina Street to the Douglas Myers Maritime Park. When you get there, you're going to start coming out of the downtown city, and from there, you're going to get explosion of historic preservation sites. African-American sites, European sites, diversity, that's what it's all about. So we're going to treasure hunt, we're going to love it, and come and take my journey. Let's get started on this historic tour. Okay, so we're back. We've done the Central Harbor, the Baltimore National Aquarium. You came up Pratt Street to Caroline. You came down Caroline to Thames. So now we're at the Douglas Myers Maritime Park Museum. Now this is about Frederick Douglass and Isaac Myers. But we're going to be talking more about Frederick Douglass because Frederick Douglass actually lived just a few blocks from here on South Carolina Street. This museum has a living classroom, a very nice restaurant on the side, and I'm starting off letting you know that Baltimore historic sites, most of them have eateries inside, and the price for admission is very low. This is an area where my Spirit in Motion Freedom students come down to practice. They have a beautiful arena. There is this park area. You can come, you sit. We have a brother, Frederick Douglass. Such a beautiful scenery to the end of the bay. The dock is right here. On the other side of the dock, there's a fabulous water taxi. And when you come here, you're going to be looking at the original Domino Sugar Factory that was a big part of the Chesapeake Bay project. And this is actually the site of the first African American industrial park, the Chesapeake Bay Railroad and dry docking started right here, and it lasted for about 18 years. And the living classroom is directly in front of us, and they do tours here every day. So when you come back, and enjoy the waterfront. So this is our second stop, and we're ready to go. So here we go. We are going east to the Broadway Piers Historic Site once you visit this beautiful museum here. So we've made it from the Douglas Myers Maritime Park, which is just a little distance to my right, and we're at the Broadway Pier. Now this pier is really historic because this pier is where the slave ships came in and docked, and they actually were sold in the marketplace exactly where I'm standing. So the wind always blows down here when people come, and it raises the consciousness of the energy here. And also in my back, you'll see a sign that says Brown's Wharf. Brown was an African-American navigator who owned a huge ship that was actually, it was called the Poor Man's Cruises, because Brown started the midnight cruise that people talk about here. They do it now on Spirit Baltimore ships. He started the cruises where the African Americans could come down to this dock, not on the main pier, but on the pier to the right, and they could go out on moonlight cruises. And actually in the front of me, there's the tracks where the old Baltimore trolley ran. And then this is the crossroads of Fells Point, the Baltimore Historic Society. Lewis Fields does the Frederick Douglass Heritage walking tours down here. You can contact him. He does them very early in the morning. So you can come here, you can eat your lunch, you can throw some flowers in the water, you can get a water taxi ride right just in the next block. You can enjoy the Chesapeake Bay mouth in its entirety. This is the mouth of the Chesapeake Bay. You enter the bay, you exit the bay. This is a gorgeous place. The Chesapeake Bay, Maryland, Baltimore, has the inland harbor. Huge ships can come directly into our harbor because of the way the bay runs. This bay is very famous. Back in the day, this bay was called the Red Dragon. A lot of businessmen did their business with Domino Sugar, Levison, Kaufman's. They all entrusted themselves in this vast water activity. This is Inner Harbor East. So when you're coming downtown, you're coming to Inner Harbor East. And directly in my back, you're going up to the main center square, and that's where we have an open festival area. And the famous Broadway Marketplace is there. You can go inside and get some of the world-renowned food. Any type of meal you want, you'll find it in that market. And our prices are very reasonable. So we're going to leave this beautiful site, and we're going to be going now to the Edna F. Lewis Museum and the Star Spangled Banner Museum, which is right off of Broadway. You're making a left on Lombard and to President Street. Gorgeous Edna F. Lewis Museum. Are you ready? Let's go. Come on, let's take my journey. So here we are. You made it. We came from Inner Harbor Central to East Harbor. So now you at President Street at Pratt, still in the Inner Harbor network, but we're at the historic Reginald F. Lewis, Maryland African American History and Culture Center Museum. This museum sets the African American curriculum for the Maryland State School System. And Reginald F. Lewis started off first billionaire, and he also helped build the law school at Harvard University. And Reginald, some tidbits, some history tidbits. Reginald F. Lewis started off as a paper boy in East Baltimore, which is right down the street. So when you come to these museums, when you come to Baltimore's historic sites, their relatives are very active. So you might come in here and his aunt be in here, and you meet a family member. Now, every site that we go to, you're going to notice as we go to the other sites, they have their own restaurant. And parking is excellent. They have a parking garage right across the street from the museum. 3 stories of excellent displays, excellent history, live theater are performing here. It's a beautiful tourist attraction. Bring your family, bring your children. So come on down, East Baltimore, right above the East Harbor, to this fabulous Reginald F. Lewis Museum. Make that your bucket list to do. Nice historic sites to come and visit in Charm City. Wave to our law enforcement. Put your seatbelts on, put your cell phone down, and enjoy Baltimore. Let's go. So we've walked about 30, 40 feet up east of the Reginald F. Lewis Museum, and we're at the Star Spangled Flag House Museum. We're right here. That is our American flag. Francis Scott Key, Fort McHenry. Oh, very good courtyard. Tourism on the inside. These are the little hidden treasures that you get when you come to Baltimore. Remember, this is our treasure hunt. This is what we do in Baltimore. Well, there's good pirates, so we're going to have the good pirates. You're doing a treasure hunt, and this is one of our added treasures, gorgeous museum. So come on to Baltimore and do your historical treasure hunt, and I'm telling you, you're going to love it. Now we're on our way East Broadway and North Avenue to the National Great Black and Wax Museum. So here we are. You made it. We just left the Reginald F. Lewis Museum. So you up on historical East North Avenue and Broadway, the home of the National Great Black and Wax Museum. This museum was started in 1983 by Dr. Elmer and Joanne Martin. Their vision was to do a educational institution in a community setting. This museum started the original wax figures. They had wax figures representing every African American historic figure in the country. My mentor, the lady who started the storytelling all over the United States, Mother Mary Carter Smith, has an exhibit in here. Oh yes, Mother Mary's in there with furniture from her house. She partnership with Linda Goss from Philadelphia, and the Black Storytellers became the National Black Storytellers. You're going to get a treasure hunt treat today. Charm City. You're going to get some cream for your coffee. We're going to actually take you into the lobby of this fantastic museum so that you can see what a real wax original figure look like. So we are right in the middle of the new development for the Great Black and Wax. You see there's an open space here. This is going to be an amphitheater, a library, community space to do festivals, all type of community activities. Dr. Martin is big on economic development for the community, so she kept her museum here in the heart of this community so that she could bring the economical value of a community up. It's 3 blocks. It extends from the main building at 1601 to the end of the block at 1649. At the end of the block, the building remaining is called the Mansion. We're standing in front of 1649. The mansion is the original mansion. It has all the original winding stairway, pink marble, historic colonial bathrooms, everything. 3 floors of exact mirrors on all the walls. It's gorgeous to see. You can rent it for an event. And right now we're at East North Avenue and East Broadway. This is in the northeast sector of the city. And right across the street is the Ray Lewis Way. Now that's important. A little bit of history tidbits. You know, I said I give tidbits. Ray Lewis got his name put on this strip because I think I was told that he came right across the street and gave out 2,000 turkeys to homeless Baltimoreans. That should get your name up on a sign, I would think, wouldn't you? Then you have the famous Ray Lewis. The Baltimore Ravens, you're getting a lot of stuff in Baltimore. Because you know when you leave the city, you always can swing through Camden Yard, M&T Stadium. They have the latest monument of guess who? Ray Lewis is in that monument at that Camden Yard, main entrance. So you can look at it as you leave. How about that? And the last but not least, the original Park Sausage. Can I have a Park Sausage, please? The original site is right downtown as you leave Baltimore. Yes, Park Sausage. Henry Parks Jr. started his famous sausage industry right downtown where M&T Stadium is built. There'll be a monument there soon, so you're going to keep coming what? Back to Baltimore. So let's go to the Baltimore Museum of Arts. You ready? Let's go. So we made it. You know you came from East North Avenue to the National Great Black and Wax Museum. We made it North Avenue West. You came to Charles Street and you made that right turn and you came all the way up Charles Street to Art Museum Drive. The Baltimore Museum of Arts is located on the fabulous campus of Johns Hopkins University. Yes, so you know I always make sure I give you 2 or 3 historic sites in one visit. So we're standing at the main entrance. The Baltimore Museum of Art house world exhibits. They have a Museum East opening just right across the courtyard. It's for handicap. The parking is right across the courtyard. And they have adequate parking up and down the street. Once again, transportation. Baltimore has a free circulator. It's called the Purple Line. It brings you from the Inner Harbor, Central, all the way up Charles Street. You can get off right on the corner. It's free, y'all. It's free. You can walk your family up here, enjoy this historical site. But what's so great about this museum is they have Gertrude's Restaurant. Didn't I tell you all our historical sites in Baltimore have their own eateries? Now, most of the time, the museum exhibits is free to tour. Every now and then they'll have an event where there's a little fee, but you can come in here and see African exhibits, European exhibits, Irish exhibits. You can come here and see everything that you really think that you're not going to see. Well, guess what? It's all right in here. And then you might come in here and they're having a fabulous opening. Because you know, artists do their openings here. Actually, 3 months ago, all the African American artists in Baltimore City, we did a historic project. We had artists lined up from where I'm standing all the way up the steps artists after artists after artists, the elder artists, the new artists, the unknown artists, the very famous artists, and we took a photo shoot, and it's available when you come here for a tour. You can ask about that. All this fabulous stuff is going on right here in Baltimore. Baltimore is Charm City, and I'm steady putting the cream on. Watch, here's the cream. Once you go to the east entrance, right down the steps, there's a gorgeous garden with all type of beautiful art. From here, we're gonna go to the right. We're gonna go to the light. You're gonna swerve to, just make a little bend left, and it's gonna bring you to Maryland Avenue, which takes you directly back downtown into Mount Vernon Historic Community. And since I'm your tour guide, and what I say, good shoes, seatbelt your babies in, wave to our police and security, because they're protecting you in Baltimore. And guess what? Cell phones down and off. You're just leaving this beautiful site, these gorgeous parks, and we're going to be going west. We're on our way to Mount Vernon, the historic Mount Vernon community. Are you ready? So we've left the BMA, Art Museum Drive. We came down Maryland Avenue. We're in the heart of the historic Mount Vernon community. And I mean heart of the community because you're standing right in front of the George Washington Monument. Huge historical presence in Baltimore City. And then if you notice, this is like the hub of the historic community because we have the Peabody Institute, the School of Engineering. We have so much historic churches, and right down the street in the next block is the Walters Art Gallery / Museum. So how great is that? You're coming up Charles Street, you're in the heart of the community, you're getting every historical site in a package. I was going to give you the Walters. I decided to give you the Washington Monument, the Peabody Institute, the gorgeous garden. And what did I tell you? Baltimore is famous for what? Charm. When you sat by that fountain and eat your lunch, after you've come down all those stairs in the Washington Monument, and you visit the Walters Art Gallery and seen 3 floors of extravagant international art. It's like a cuisine, it's like a dinner menu. International flavors. And every place had places to eat. Parking and community parking here. Exceptional view. You're on the hill. You're on the hill in Mount Vernon. This is the hill. Charles Street brings you up. Beautiful parks, beautiful settings. And this is the home of the Baltimore Book Festival, the widely recognized Artscape, the Flower Mart. So you're coming to a community that pans out and does everything. So now we're getting ready to go and let you look actually at the Walters Art Gallery / Museum. So we've came all the way from the Washington Mart, and we just walked down the steps. We just literally walked down the steps into this beautiful Lafayette Garden and the world-renowned Walters Art Gallery and Museum. This is one of the biggest historical sites in Mount Vernon. This holds the International Collectors Art Queen Venus is on the third floor of the butt, and the Mobike is on the third floor with her. You are in the middle of Mount Vernon Central. The Walters Art Gallery holds lunchtime curators viewings. You can actually come, bring your brown bag lunch, sit on the second floor, and look at a piece of collectible archive that just got to the Walters. And the museum curators are standing underneath of you, and they are rating the piece that you're looking at. How great is that? So you come here to visit the Walters, you get to be a momentary curator while you are enjoying this fabulous museum located at Charles and Central Avenue. In the heart, it's Central Avenue because it's in the heart. This is the central area. You've seen all the gorgeous stuff at the Washington Monument, the churches. On the back side of the Walters is the Maryland Historical Society. And right up the street in the next block is the Catholic Cathedral. So you're getting the prayer garden. This is the first prayer garden in the United States of America. It's right up the street. Right up in the Archdiocese, right up the street. So you're in a neighborhood where once you park your car and step out, you're going to be blown away. The Walters Art Gallery and the museum. It's a sight for you to see, the heart of Mount Vernon. So now, we're getting ready to go to Franklin Street, to the historic Pennsylvania Avenue corridor that houses every facet of African American murals, artifacts, world one and only statues. You're going to be blown. I like the word blown away. So let's remember this. You're in Baltimore. Seatbelts, cell phone down, wave to our law enforcement, and enjoy your journey. And here we are. I see you followed me. You went up from the Walters Art Gallery and Museum to Franklin Street. You made that right turn, and you made another right turn on the fabulous historic Pennsylvania Avenue. Now we're here at the world-renowned Billie Holiday Memorial Plaza. Renowned sculptor James Earl Reed. You know, this is the only statue of Lady Day in the entire world. So when you're coming up Pennsylvania Avenue, this is one of the treasures that you're going to get. You can be able to park your car. There's always parking. You can sit with your family. You can eat lunch. You can take pictures, and directly across the street from here at Lafayette and Pennsylvania Avenue is the historic pavilion representing the Royal Theater. Pennsylvania Avenue was famous in the early 30s, 40s for being the entertainment strip for Baltimore City. All the famous stars came here. And talking about famous, I see Lynette Rogers coming up. This is what happens when you come to Baltimore. I told you historic people just walk up. Now, Miss Rogers is a renowned sculptor. She's a part of Baltimore Clay Works, and she's just out and about in the city. So, Lynette, welcome.
Hello.
So it's nice to see you just cruising through our fabulous city.
Yes, I just seen you over here. Thought I would stop and see what you were doing over here by the statue. Well, this is just a lovely opportunity to be standing here by this lovely statue.
Oh,
This
yes.
is just one of the must-sees when you come to Baltimore.
Must see. Did you
Must
hear that?
see.
Must see.
I think sometimes we don't give enough credit to this beautiful statue
That
in
is
Baltimore.
right.
It is one of the only statues of Billie Holiday that I know of.
In the world.
In
It's
the
none
world.
in the world.
In the world. That's fabulous.
All the images on each corner of this statue, there is an image that represents some history. You can read the God bless this child, strange fruit on the other side. Baltimore is the home of mural painting, emotions painted in print on the buildings, on the sidewalk. And actually, after we go up Pennsylvania Avenue, as we go towards North and Pennsylvania, you're going to Sandtown Central. This is the Sandtown community. This is the community that the uprising took place in. And you're going to see how the community said, we expressed ourselves, we moved some things around, but hey, we need you to come and tour. So we fixed it back up. And it is gorgeous. And we're on our way north, and we'll be meeting you at the Pennsylvania Avenue Bakery. How about that stop? We're going north. So, we have left the Billie Holiday Memorial Plaza and the Royal Theater Pavilion, and we're going north on Pennsylvania Avenue, and we're at the Avenue Bakery. I'm telling you, it's the house of Papa Pay rolls, homemade rolls. But I'm here today to let you see the magnificent historic tour here. When you do come and visit, they're open every day of the week from 8 to 4. So right through the gate, that's called the Meditation Garden. And what happens in there, they have free community jazz concerts. They have historical film showing. They have outside brunches. You can go inside, you can buy your food, and then you can walk right here and sit in this beautiful garden. This is exciting because the civil rights movement for Baltimore painted on the walls. The Baltimore Afro-American is the oldest African American newspaper. The Afro documents every bit of history in Baltimore, the state of Maryland, and its records are housed at Bowie State University. This Afro-American newspaper is attached to the Murphys and the Mitchell family, and that's why I told you that right up on Utah Street, right around the corner here, is the new Lily Mae Curl Civil Rights Museum. Yes, she was the first woman in Maryland to be involved in the civil rights movement. She processed a lot of laws, did a lot of marching, a lot of demonstration, and worked hard. Thurgood Marshall belongs to us. He's a Baltimorean. He's right on this wall. So you have so many historic Baltimore. This community here is so historic. So you just can come up here and stay all day. And on the adjacent wall is a new mural that just was added, and that tells you the history of all the film industry. Did you know this strip had more than 15 theaters? Yeah, they did. We are going north after this, and you're going to, of course, see the Arts Social Club, which is at North Avenue and Pennsylvania. This is the central location for the Sandtown community. And you see how the community revived itself after the uprising. Now the Art Social Club has the Billie Holiday mural on the wall. You can go in the Art Social Club. You can have an adult club atmosphere. You can come to an event where they do family events, films, air conditioned, 2 levels. And the Art Social Club is the second oldest male social club, of course it's African American, in the United States. Charm City. Oh, we still on our treasure hunt? So let's seatbelt ourselves in, cell phone down, wave to our law enforcement. North Avenue Central, the home of Sandtown. After the Arts Social Club and the Enid Pratt Library, you can make a U-turn, and we're going south on Pennsylvania to Utah, to Lexington, to the Maryland Women Heritage Center / Museum. Let's go. We're going south. So now that you have toured all the fabulous historic sites in Baltimore, we're going to give you a treasure hunt treat. We're going to give you the Arena Players. It originally was called the Arena Playhouse Theater, so I think they incorporated it or something and called it the Arena Players. This is the oldest African American theater that's still operational in the country. Every play they have is sellout audience. So you're gonna have to call ahead to get tickets, but just to come to this historic site, they have a parking lot on the side. Parking is important. The plays are phenomenal. The price is reasonable, but this would be like an after-hour treat that you can get when you visit the Arena Theater. Now we're gonna take you inside and let you get a look at the lobby and what's coming. Let's go inside. So here we are. We're on Orchard Street at the historical Orchard Street Church, one of the stops on the Underground Railroad going north. Yes, Harriet Tubman. And this historical site is run, owned, and managed by the Greater Baltimore Urban League. And they do so many services in the city, plus manage the site. And I hear the basement has a lot of things that you might want to see. Another Baltimore treasure off of Martin Luther King Boulevard. So enjoy. So we've made it to our last historical treasure chest. This is located in the heart of downtown. It's called the Maryland Women Heritage Center / Museum. This is a state-of-art Maryland Women's Resource Center, the home of the Maryland Women Hall of Fame, the 25 women in the Maryland arts. Colleges come here and resource. You can bring tour groups here. We're open for tours. It's just a tremendous women's place. Directly in front of me, about 6 blocks straight down the street, you will walk directly into the world-renowned Lexington Market. It was the oldest outdoor market, but after the fire of 1906, they kind of brought it inside. So it's a closed-in market, but it's the home of the Farley Maryland crab cake. So when you're on your tour and you get hungry, what did I tell you? All our historic sites usually have eateries attached to them. And another fabulous place while we're in the downtown corridor is the Huey Blake Culture Arts Center on Howard Street. Beautiful history of Huey Blake, pianist, everything you need, just nice stuff. So you can come, walk up the street to the Maryland Women Exchange, all in the same circle. Parking is on the street parking, or we have garages all over the place. So what we're going to do now is we're going to go inside and let you get a good look at the Maryland Women Museum. And I am an inductee in that museum. So I need you to come inside and see what I did in Baltimore to earn my right to be in the museum. So guess what? Let's go inside. The Maryland Women Heritage Center and Museum. This is the end of the historic treasure hunt of historic sites to visit here in our Charm City. And as you can see, this gorgeous Maryland 25 Women in the Arts, back and front, mirror after mirror of women in the arts, and of course, I'm on air. I'm just going to promote me for 1 second, because this is our new book. You can purchase this. First time I ever sold anything on a tour, but that's because I'm on the inside of the book, which is a very nice, beautiful book. After you visit everything in Baltimore, you are back downtown. You're 3 blocks from Inner Harbor Central. You're getting ready to go back to Lombard Street, which will take you out of the city. Or you can walk over to our convention center and get on our light rail and ride back to BWI Thurgood Marshall International Airport if that's the way you came. Or you can retrieve your car out of one of our fabulous parking garages. This museum is free. Like I said, it's the only museum in the United States of America that has the resource history on every woman in Maryland. And you can come here, you can do luncheons, you can do tour, and it's free to come in here. You notice I've taken you on a lot of tours that were what? Free. There was a lot of enjoyment. And I put a lot of cream in your coffee. So, and if you don't get to see everything in this one day, guess what? We have fabulous hotels, and we'd like for you to come back and keep coming back and bring your friends. So you've seen our Women's Hall of Fame. You've just seen all the fabulous things in this Women's Museum, and you've heard the history of Baltimore from downtown Central, Inner Harbor East, North Avenue Northeast, everywhere. In Baltimore, we went in a complete circle. So you can visit my site, you can follow me, you can GPS me too, and we'll take you to everywhere you need to go. And then some. So come on, be the first guest to visit Grandmother Edna, a grandmother's pilgrimage, and come, like I say to everybody who come to Baltimore, come and take my journey. Asante San.